In the vast expanse of the Galactic Council's chamber, leaders from every corner of the galaxy gather in splendor, surrounded by technology so advanced it feels more like magic than machinery. The air hums with the quiet arrogance of civilizations that have existed for eons. Each leader, a representative of their species' might, radiates confidence. They are used to being at the top, and their collective presence fills the chamber with an unshakable sense of superiority. Among them, seated at the far end, is the human representative, an unassuming figure surrounded by towering beings from worlds Earth can hardly imagine. The Council has allowed this human into their esteemed ranks almost as a formality. For most of them, Earth is little more than a speck, a world too young, too primitive to be worth more than a passing glance. But now, with humanity's resources discovered to be rich, and its technology a laughable collection of relics by the galaxy's standards, Earth has caught the Council's attention. The voices of the Council members are laced with a casual, biting disdain as they discuss the situation on Earth. One representative, a glistening, multi-limbed entity from the Centrios cluster, addresses the assembly with a smirk. "Why waste time on formalities?" it says, the words dripping with scorn. Earth is a quaint little rock with the charm of an ant colony. They scurry around in confusion, completely unaware of what true power looks like. Their greatest weapon would barely scratch the hull of our oldest, most obsolete ship. The chamber erupts in laughter, a cacophony of strange tones and frequencies as the Council shares in the joke. Another representative, a being that looks as if it's made of living plasma, scoffs. Let them keep their tiny planet. They wouldn't know what to do with our technology if we handed it to them on a silver platter. Imagine giving a hyperdrive to a species that can barely leave their own solar system. It's almost sad. More laughter fills the chamber, and the human representative remains silent, eyes calmly taking in the spectacle. The representative's demeanor is controlled, inscrutable, a stark contrast to the mocking indulgence of the other Council members. Aware of the snide remarks, the representative listens, but offers no rebuttal, no emotion. A senior member of the Council, who appears as a massive, luminescent figure floating several feet above its seat, waves a hand to quiet the assembly. The air stills as the leader speaks, his voice echoing with an ancient authority. "Enough of this," he says, the remnants of a smirk still lingering on his face. "There's no need for extended debate. Earth has resources we can use, rare minerals, biological specimens. They'll benefit our interests, and we're not here to negotiate. Humanity will be persuaded." There's a glint of cruelty in his eyes, a predatory gaze fixed on the human representative. "A show of force," he continues, "should suffice to make them understand their place in the order of things. Perhaps a small-scale demonstration. We'll remind them of the price of insolence." The Council murmurs in approval, their agreement unanimous. Their plan is simple, a swift, overwhelming display of power to crush any illusions humanity might have of resisting. The representative's silence seems to embolden them further, reinforcing their certainty that Earth is a defenseless quarry. One Council member, whose voice is a low rumble like distant thunder, speaks up. "Do you think the humans will understand?" he asks, sounding almost amused. "They're a stubborn race, but stubbornness only lasts until it's drowned in fire." The human representative observes this gathering storm of arrogance with an unreadable expression. For a moment, their gaze flickers, a brief spark in their eyes that goes unnoticed by the Council members busy celebrating their preemptive victory. Inside, the representative knows that Earth has prepared for this day. Long nights of covert strategy, hidden technologies, and allies willing to risk everything for survival. The Galactic Council sees humanity as an easy conquest, but humanity has never been one to surrender easily. "Then it's settled," says the Council leader, voice dripping with finality. "We proceed with a small strike force. They'll receive our message loud and clear." As the meeting adjourns, The council members chatter among themselves, exchanging smug, knowing smiles. To them, Earth is already in their grasp. The human representative stands and nods a respectful farewell to the council members, exuding a calm dignity that belies the reality beneath. The representative is not intimidated, nor are they swayed by the mocking words. They understand the stakes all too well. Inside, however, they carry a silent defiance, a quiet promise that Earth will not fall without a fight. In the heart of Earth's military command center, a quiet but fierce determination fills the air. It's an underground fortress of steel and reinforced concrete, bustling with officers and analysts monitoring live feeds, each screen filled with the ominous presence of the approaching alien fleet. The glow of holographic maps illuminates the faces of Earth's finest minds, who are preparing for the impossible, a stand against forces from the stars. Among them stands Dr. Elena Santos, a leading military scientist, her gaze steady as she surveys the scene. Beside her is General Mark Daniels, a seasoned strategist with the calm but intense focus of someone who knows the stakes. Dr. Santos and General Daniels have spent years on high alert, preparing Earth for the worst-case scenario. They had always been met with skepticism. For so long, the idea of alien conflict seemed more like science fiction than serious strategy. But they believed in it, tirelessly building Earth's defenses and designing weapons unlike anything the planet has seen before. Now, that foresight is all that stands between survival and annihilation. General Daniels breaks the silence, his voice unwavering. We knew they'd come someday. Maybe not these aliens, but someone. Now we make sure they understand we won't go quietly. Dr. Santos nods, glancing at the holographic display of the alien fleet's trajectory. They've come a long way to get here, she says, her tone reflective but sharp. They think we're unprepared, primitive. They don't know what we've been working on. She gestures to a series of screens displaying Earth's arsenal, each image representing years of covert research, testing, and refinement. Earth may lack the intergalactic technology of their invaders, but they've developed something uniquely devastating, a high-energy weapon capable of focused destruction at an unprecedented scale. It's powered by a unique fusion reactor, compact but immensely powerful, capable of unleashing energy waves that could disrupt even the most advanced alien shielding. She points to a prototype labeled Project Valkyrie, a device designed to harness gravitational waves, bending space itself to create a pinpoint gravitational field strong enough to crush any target, no matter the defenses. Daniels watches as she explains its mechanism, a weapon like no other, one that doesn't simply destroy, but annihilates at a molecular level. Project Valkyrie wasn't just a weapon, Santos continues, her voice hardened with purpose. It's a warning. We've designed it to make them think twice about underestimating us again. The command center buzzes, with quiet tension, as Earth's military teams run through every contingency, rehearsing for a fight that will likely take all they have. Messages flash across the screens as different units around the world confirm readiness. They know they're facing an enemy with technological advantages that seem insurmountable. The gap in power and resources would have made any other planet capitulate, but not Earth. Not when the idea of surrender feels as alien as the creatures bearing down on them. Daniel's voice rises above the low hum of activity, addressing his assembled teams. Listen up. We're not just fighting for ourselves. We're fighting for every person who's ever believed that freedom isn't something you trade for safety. That's what makes us dangerous. His words land heavily, a rallying call that resonates throughout the room, grounding each person in the knowledge of why they're there. Earth's leaders have made a choice. They will not give up their home without a fight. They will not bend to an alien threat, no matter how powerful. Around the room, faces are set in grim resolve. They're not the hardened, ruthless warriors the aliens likely expect. They're scientists, engineers, soldiers, strategists, people who've learned to make do with what they have, people who have mastered the art of resilience. The very thing the aliens dismiss as weakness is, in truth, humanity's greatest strength. As the countdown continues, Santos turns to Daniels. Our arsenal may be limited, but every weapon we've built is designed to exploit what they won't see coming, she says. They think they're untouchable. Daniels offers a thin smile. They've forgotten something fundamental. We've spent centuries turning survival into an art. They may have the numbers and the technology, but we know how to fight like no one else. The Earth's leaders stand shoulder to shoulder, committed to this defense. With a shared look, they silently acknowledge that this fight could be the last. And still, not one of them flinches. They've chosen to make Earth a fortress, not of impenetrable walls or shielded domes, but of people who refuse to yield. Project Valkyrie is our ace, Santos says. But every single piece of our arsenal is designed with the same purpose: precision, unpredictability, and absolute resolve. The final check-ins arrive, units around the globe signaling their readiness. A map of Earth's defenses flickers on the main screen, showing military bases, strategic outposts, and hidden facilities, all coordinated with a precision born of necessity. This isn't a war of attrition. Earth doesn't have the numbers to withstand that kind of fight. Instead, they'll rely on timing, precision, and weapons that push the limits of their technology. Earth's defenses aren't about overpowering the enemy. They're about outsmarting them. Each weapon, each protocol is part of a strategy designed to leave the aliens scrambling. Santos and Daniels have devised a plan that focuses on targeting weak points, using guerrilla tactics, deploying misinformation, and, when the moment is right, unleashing Project Valkyrie as a show of Earth strength. As the command center prepares for action, a quiet resolve settles over the team. Earth's leaders have done everything they can. They know what's at stake, and they know what they're fighting for. They'll show these intruders that humanity's true strength lies not in its weapons, but in its spirit. For Earth, surrender is not an option. As the alien fleet descends into Earth's orbit, their formation fills the sky like an unbreakable wall of darkness. Ship after ship, sleek and menacing, hovers above, bristling with weaponry that could reduce entire cities to rubble in seconds. Their firepower is nothing Earth has ever seen. Shields capable of withstanding nuclear blasts, lasers sharp enough to carve mountains. It's a display of superiority, meant to inspire awe and terror in anyone looking up from the ground below. In the command center, Earth's military teams are ready. They watch as the ships form a perimeter around the planet, each vessel positioned with calculated precision. The human defenders know they're outmatched in terms of sheer numbers and technology. Yet they don't flinch. Earth's forces are smaller, but they've prepared for this moment with a determination the aliens would never expect. A transmission crackles over Earth's comms. The voice of the alien fleet commander, cold and imperious, fills the air. People of Earth, your struggle is pointless. Your weapons are as insignificant as your species. Surrender now, and we may consider showing mercy. Resist, and you'll face destruction beyond your comprehension. The message is met with a moment of silence. Then, from Earth's command, a calm, unwavering response. We hear you, and we decline. Earth will not bow. The alien commander's silence betrays his surprise. He expected pleading, not defiance. The fleet adjusts its formation, tightening the circle around Earth, preparing to fire. They consider it an inevitable victory, just another small conquest. They are wrong. Without further warning, a burst of blinding energy erupts from the lead alien ship, slicing toward Earth's atmosphere. But as the blast nears the surface, Earth's defense systems spring to life. A network of satellites flickers on, their sensors locking onto the incoming attack with pinpoint accuracy. In seconds, the energy blast is redirected by a field generator, a piece of human ingenuity, and dissipates harmlessly in the upper atmosphere. The aliens hesitate, confused by this unexpected countermeasure. In the command center, Dr. Santos watches the readouts with steady eyes. "Prepare for the next phase," she says, her voice steady, almost calm. General Daniels gives a single nod, signaling the coordinated response they've rehearsed countless times. Earth's defense systems have been designed to exploit the aliens' assumptions, and now it's time to turn those assumptions into weaknesses. The alien fleet, unfazed, continues its barrage. Beams of energy rain down, but Earth's systems meet each one with calculated precision, redirecting, deflecting, and nullifying them just enough to minimize damage. The aliens begin to grow frustrated, unable to land a decisive blow despite their overwhelming firepower. Earth's defenses appear surprisingly adaptive, each maneuver suggesting a level of strategy they hadn't anticipated. Then comes Earth's first real counterstrike. From a hidden position on the planet's surface, Project Valkyrie, Earth's secret weapon, is activated. A single shot is fired, a tightly focused beam of energy that streaks through the darkness with shocking speed and precision. It hits one of the lead alien ships, piercing straight through its core. The vessel, massive and impenetrable by alien standards, disintegrates in an instant, its debris scattering across the void. Silence falls over the alien fleet. For a heartbeat, nothing moves. The Council forces, once so confident in their dominance, are paralyzed, stunned by the destruction of one of their own. They hadn't anticipated anything on Earth capable of delivering such a devastating, targeted blow. Earth was supposed to be weak, defenseless. And yet, here they are, facing a weapon that defies their expectations of a primitive planet. The alien commander's voice trembles with barely contained rage as he issues new orders, instructing his fleet to retaliate. But their strategy begins to unravel as they engage Earth's defenses at closer range. Earth's forces, though fewer, are more agile, utilizing every advantage of the planet's natural environment and technology that confounds the alien systems. From ground-based anti-air systems to mobile defense units hidden in the terrain, every countermeasure has been planned down to the smallest detail. Earth's military responds with a coordination and efficiency that the aliens find disorienting. Dr. Santos watches the alien fleet scrambling to adapt, her expression unchanging. She's studied their weaknesses, and her plan is to keep Earth's defenses as unpredictable as possible, using tactics the aliens can't predict or understand. While the alien fleet reorganizes, Project Valkyrie powers up for another strike, charging with lethal purpose. With another burst of controlled energy, Earth's weapon hits a second alien ship, obliterating it in one perfectly calculated shot. Shockwaves ripple through the fleet, and the aliens falter, their once flawless formation beginning to break. Earth's strategy is working, sowing confusion and hesitation within the enemy ranks. Seeing the damage, the alien commander hesitates, his earlier bravado crumbling as he orders a retreat to regroup. But Earth's forces aren't finished. They launch a series of hit-and-run attacks, exploiting every gap in the fleet's defenses, keeping them off balance and disoriented. What began as a simple show of dominance for the aliens has turned into a nightmare of unpredictable strikes and defensive maneuvers they can't fully counter. In the chaos, Earth's command center maintains a steely calm. General Daniels directs each move with precision, his orders carrying the weight of quiet confidence. Dr. Santos adjusts their strategy as she reads the alien fleet's increasingly desperate tactics. The Council forces may have more firepower, but Earth's defenders have something the aliens can't counter: an understanding of asymmetric warfare, the element of surprise, and an unbreakable resolve. The alien commander, now grappling with the impossible reality unfolding before him, realizes that Earth isn't the easy conquest he assumed. Their weapons may not match his fleets in size or numbers, but their effectiveness and accuracy speak volumes. With each alien ship that falls, his certainty is replaced by fear. These humans, once thought insignificant, have become a threat. As the battle drags on, the alien fleet begins to pull back, their formations fragmented and their morale shaken. Earth's forces, fewer in number but relentless, continue to harass the retreating ships, making each one pay for underestimating them. What began as a display of force by the Galactic Council has ended in humiliation, a realization that these primitives wield weapons and strategies capable of decimating even the mightiest armadas. For the alien commander, the message is clear. Earth is not to be trifled with. These humans, who had once seemed so small and defenseless, have become something far more formidable, a species with both the will and the means to defend themselves. As the last alien ships retreat from Earth's orbit, they carry back a story of a world that refuses to bow, a world that, against all odds, proved that strength is more than just technology. It's the fire that refuses to be extinguished. On the Galactic Council's flagship, tension has replaced the arrogance that once filled the air. Council members gather in a dimly lit, circular chamber, faces tight with confusion and disbelief. The recent skirmish with Earth has left them stunned, each mind grappling with the unthinkable, a primitive planet not only withstanding their attack, but repelling it with lethal precision. For millennia, they've lorded over countless systems, each one succumbing to their superior technology and numbers. Yet here they are, nursing their first loss to a species they deemed insignificant. The council leader, a stoic figure with cold, penetrating eyes, slams his hand onto the table, his voice filled with barely restrained fury. How could they possess such a weapon? How did we miss this? His words hang in the air, each syllable laced with the discomfort of a shattered assumption. A scientist seated nearby responds, hesitant, scanning data on a handheld device. Their weapon, the one that pierced our flagship, is unlike anything we've seen. The energy output, the precision, it defies our calculations. This was not supposed to be possible. Around the chamber, murmurs of fear ripple through the assembly. They are not accustomed to surprises, let alone threats. One council member, her voice tinged with fear, speaks up. Perhaps we misjudge them. We should consider retreating. These humans, they are clearly more than we anticipated. They have the capacity to fight back, even harm us. The suggestion is met with gasps, and the leader's eyes narrow. Retreat? Because of a backwater world? Have you forgotten who we are? His gaze sweeps the room, challenging anyone to question the council's authority. They may have their tricks, but they are still no match for us. We will show them the full extent of our power. Yet the air is thick with uncertainty. A growing faction within the council isn't so sure. They've heard of species fighting back before, but none like this. Earth's tactics, its resolve, and the unpredictability of its defenses have introduced a new element into the equation: fear. It's a word that feels foreign to them, yet one they can no longer ignore. Just then, a transmission from Earth arrives. The council's communication screen flickers to life, displaying a message from Earth's representative, a concise, calculated offer of peace. The human diplomat's voice is calm, almost indifferent. To the council, we propose a resolution. Withdraw from our system, and we will refrain from further action. We seek only to protect our home. Continue, and we will respond accordingly. The message ignites a firestorm of outrage. The council leader's face flushes with anger. An offer of peace? From a species that dares to resist us. He scoffs, disgusted, but the underlying reality is unsettling. For the first time, they are faced with an opponent who not only refuses to submit, but also has the nerve to negotiate. It feels like an insult to their centuries of dominance, and some council members are quick to label it as such. But others aren't so sure. A few more cautious voices argue for caution. They knew exactly how to strike. They've demonstrated a level of intelligence and capability that demands respect. Perhaps we should take their offers seriously. But pride blinds most of the council, their collective ego bruised by Earth's defiance. Orders are given, and within hours, a new fleet is dispatched with instructions to teach Earth a lesson, to punish their impudence. This time, they won't hold back. This time, they will crush the humans entirely, a statement to any others in the galaxy who might think to rebel. The retaliation begins with a massive show of force. Ships descend in waves, raining fire onto Earth's defenses. It's an unrestrained assault, designed to overwhelm and annihilate. But once again, Earth's forces respond with calculated precision. For every attack the Council launches, Earth counters, leveraging guerrilla tactics, misdirection, and feints that keep the aliens off balance. One moment, an alien ship locks onto what it assumes to be a vital Earth target, only to discover it's a decoy. In another, Earth's fighters lure a Council cruiser into a trap, disabling it with focused strikes to critical points in its hull. The humans, outnumbered and outgunned, continue to demonstrate a level of resilience and adaptability that makes them seem far larger in force than they are. The Galactic Council, unused to such resistance, begins to falter. The longer the skirmishes last, the more apparent it becomes that Earth is fighting not just with technology, but with something the Council can't quantify: determination, ingenuity, and a complete refusal to give up. Back on the Council's flagship, the leaders observe the ongoing conflict in silence. Their initial anger has given way to something far more uncomfortable: a gnawing doubt. This battle, which should have been swift, has dragged on, costing them resources, ships, and prestige. For the first time, they're being forced to reassess. How could such a small world hold its own against us? A counselor murmurs, bewildered. What drives them? Another responds, her voice laced with awe and frustration. These humans, they're unpredictable. No protocol accounts for this level of resistance. The Council leader, previously unwavering, feels the weight of each word. He looks out at the battle and realizes that their very approach, their reliance on brute strength and overwhelming force, may not work here. Earth isn't just another conquest. It's something different, something dangerous. And the Council has no plan for what they're facing. The Council's scientist speaks up, offering a reluctant observation. Perhaps they fight this way because they know what's at stake. For them, it's not about domination. It's about survival. They're defending their home. The words hang heavy in the air. The Council, which has conquered and subjugated countless species, has always seen resistance as a minor inconvenience, a bump on the road to expansion. But Earth is showing them something new, an opponent that will stop at nothing to protect its freedom, an opponent with capabilities far beyond what they assumed. Earth's defense is teaching them something they've forgotten: the desperation and ferocity of a species fighting to survive. As the Council's forces continue to face setback after setback, morale within the alien fleet begins to waver. The alien commanders, faced with unforeseen losses and mounting fear, start questioning the wisdom of continued aggression. Whispers of retreat spread through the ranks. Some ships fall back, their crews unwilling to face the relentless, unpredictable tactics of Earth's defenders. The Council leader, watching his fleet's composure unravel, wrestles with a decision he never thought he'd make. Pride has always been his guide, but now he feels its weight dragging him toward ruin. As his fleet buckles under the strain of Earth's resistance, he can no longer ignore the reality before him. They underestimated humanity's resolve, their ingenuity, their absolute refusal to surrender. One final message from Earth's representative reaches the Council, brief and pointed. This is your last chance. Withdraw, and we end this. Continue, and you will regret it. The Council leader closes his eyes, realizing the depth of his mistake. His pride told him humans would be an easy conquest. Reality has taught him otherwise. His gaze shifts to his counselors, many of whom now look at him with apprehension, their confidence in his leadership eroded by Earth's unyielding stand. Order the retreat, he finally says, his voice laced with bitterness. We've learned enough from these humans, and the galaxy will hear of this. As the fleet turns away from Earth, the Council's members are left in shock, haunted by a truth they'd long refused to see. Humanity, A species they'd mocked has not only withstood their attack, but forced them to reconsider their entire approach to domination. In one battle, Earth has exposed the Galactic Council's vulnerability, showing that arrogance can be a fatal weakness. And somewhere in the depths of space, word will spread. There is a planet of resilient, defiant humans. A planet that does not surrender. In the silent stillness of Earth's command center, final preparations are underway. A faint glow fills the room as data streams across countless screens, tracking every movement, every signal from the alien fleet. Earth's defenses have held, their resolve unwavering. But the alien forces are regrouping for one last, desperate push. General Daniels and Dr. Santos exchange a knowing look. This is it, the moment that will decide it all. Dr. Santos gives a slight nod, her voice steady. They're moving back into position. Just like we expected. The team knows the stakes. There's no room for error. Over the past days, Earth's forces have fought relentlessly, defying odds that were never supposed to be in their favor. Now, with every element perfectly in place, it's time to make their final stand. The Galactic Council's fleet looms ominously above, larger and more imposing than any force Earth has ever faced. Their flagship, a monolithic behemoth, is at the heart of the formation, radiating power and menace. To the Council, it is a symbol of their authority, their dominance. But Earth's defenders have seen past the intimidation. They know that every system, no matter how powerful, has a weakness. General Daniels speaks with a calm conviction, his voice steady over the comms. All units, prepare to engage. This is our final push. Trust your training, trust each other, and hold your ground. Across the planet, Earth's forces respond, eyes sharp, hands ready, prepared to give their all. As the Council's flagship moves closer, it releases waves of attack drones, each equipped with enough firepower to level a city. Earth's defenses activate in unison, drawing the drones into a carefully crafted trap. The first wave is met with volleys of precise, controlled fire from Earth's ground defenses, coordinated to perfection. Drones are cut down in droves, their formations crumbling under the assault. The few that slip through are met with automated turrets and hidden interceptors, layers of defense that turn the Council's relentless offense into chaos. Then Earth makes its move. In the depths of space, a fleet of human-operated vessels emerges from the shadows, moving with precision and speed. These ships, smaller and faster than their alien counterparts, dart through the enemy lines, dodging and weaving, each one playing a role in the larger strategy. They've trained tirelessly for this moment, and every maneuver is calculated to disrupt, distract, and dismantle the enemy's formation. On board the Council's flagship, alien commanders scramble to keep up, issuing orders to recalibrate, to reform. But Earth's forces keep them off balance, their unpredictable tactics making it nearly impossible for the Council to regroup. For every ship the aliens manage to target, Earth's fighters take down two, exploiting every gap, every moment of hesitation in the alien ranks. Then, the command center receives the signal they've been waiting for. Project Valkyrie is in position, a voice announces over the comms. General Daniels nods, his face resolute. They've kept this card hidden until now, a weapon of last resort, an ace they've reserved for the most critical moment. Project Valkyrie, a prototype energy cannon with a range and power far surpassing anything Earth has used so far, begins its final calibration. Its targeting systems lock onto the flagship, its readings fine-tuning as it prepares for a single, focused strike. This weapon was created as a deterrent, a way to defend against any overwhelming force. Now, it's Earth's final gambit. As the Council's flagship closes in, preparing to unleash its own final barrage, Dr. Santos gives the order. Valkyrie fire, a pulse of energy, blinding and intense, arcs across the distance between Earth and the flagship. It moves faster than anything the Council sensors can register, a pinpoint of destruction aimed directly at the heart of their fleet. The beam pierces the flagship's shields in an instant, cutting through layer after layer of reinforced armor, penetrating its core systems. The entire vessel shudders, a moment of disbelief sweeping over the alien commanders as alarms blare, systems failing one by one. The flagship, once an emblem of the Council's unchallenged might, begins to fracture, explosions rippling through its hull. Within seconds, it disintegrates into a cascade of wreckage, scattering into the darkness of space. The alien fleet watches in stunned silence as their flagship is reduced to debris. The Council, for the first time in its long history, is defeated. Panic spreads among the remaining ships. With their leader gone, their formation broken, and Earth's forces closing in, survival instincts take over. The surviving Council ships break rank, scattering in retreat. They flee, engines blazing, desperate to escape the relentless assault of a world they once thought inconsequential. In Earth's command center, a wave of quiet relief sweeps through the room. The battle is over. Earth has stood firm, defended its home, and sent the Council fleeing. General Daniels exhales, his shoulders relaxing, while Dr. Santos stares at the screen, a rare, small smile tugging at her lips. They've done the impossible. Against all odds, they've repelled the greatest force the galaxy could muster. As the dust settles, Earth's leaders gather, reflecting on the gravity of what's just occurred. General Daniels addresses his team, his voice filled with a quiet pride. Today, we've proven that we are not a world to be taken lightly. We may not have their technology, their numbers, or their history of conquest, but we have something stronger. We have the will to protect what's ours. Dr. Santos nods, adding, "They'll remember this day." They came expecting an easy victory, and they leave with the understanding that Earth is more than they ever imagined. We may not be part of their council, but they will respect us as equals. Across the galaxy, the story spreads like wildfire. A small, defiant planet on the fringes of known space has stood against the Galactic Council and emerged victorious. Word of humanity's triumph, of their resilience, reaches distant worlds, some of whom have known the Council's oppression for generations. And for the first time, those oppressed worlds feel a glimmer of hope, a belief that perhaps they, too, might stand up against their rulers.